Hello, Soul Family. It's Maria Palomino. How are you, gods and goddesses? I'm in Giza Plateau, which is in Egypt, very close to Cairo. And it's my last day. I've been in Egypt for about 10 days now. And I've been traveling up the Nile, doing just powerful, magical, multi-dimensional ceremonies that were being led by Matías de Estefano, who is an actor and host of the show called Initiation on Gaia. If you're not familiar with Gaia, Gaia is a video platform that is similar to Amazon, to Netflix. The only difference is that the content that they deliver is only focused on higher consciousness content. So anything that you want to learn about meditation, yoga, breathwork, plant medicine, past life regression, it's an amazing library, and it's well made, very highly professional. And the purpose for this journey that we've done up to now is called the FEZUR path. It's also part of the initiatic path. FEZUR meaning the dragon serpent. So the dragon serpent representing the Nile River. So we travel up the Nile River and starting doing ceremony at Isis representing the material, everything coming into fruition, because Isis is the mother who gives birth. We all come from the womb. So as you can imagine, we opened up this beautiful path with so much love, feeling her wings, feeling her nurturing, for us to be supported along the way. After Isis, we went to the temple of Edfu, just a little bit up north. And Kom Ombo. And Kom Ombo is the temple of the darkness. And so many interesting things, to say the least, happen there. Because it's very important to be able to see your own darkness, because those are your limitations. Nothing's good, nothing's bad, everything in reality is neutral, because all it's universe, all it's one. But it's this idea that we've created. For me, all of a sudden, the whole floor opened up, and it was the cosmos, and it was the black hole, and it was the void. And I put one step in, and I was starting to fall, and I got scared, and I went back. And that ceremony continued. People moved to different parts of the temple. And after all was finished, I went back to that spot where I fell, and I came back because I literally thought that physically I had left something there. And of course it wasn't. It was part of me, it's part of my soul. Granted, there are limitations that I have, that I didn't allow myself to completely die, to completely fall into the void. So that was very interesting. After Kom Ombo, we went up to the temple of Edfu, which is by the god Horus, who is the son of Osiris and Isis. So think of it as Mary and Jesus had their son. Joseph and Mary had their son Jesus. So here's Horus, the temple of light. And I have a very special connection with that temple. Even last time I was here, I automatically just start activating, because there's just so much potent energy just running along all the different rooms, the different chambers that they have. It was gorgeous. It was actually, we were divided into groups of 6, and we all represented, and we were an atom, and there were 12 groups of us representing the nodes of the world. And we're activating this gorgeous blue crystals, the obsidian crystals, that are going to be planted in the different nodes of the world. So what we're doing through this trip is we're activating the crystals in each one of the temples as we went up. So Edfu, my attribute was energy. So that was my attribute, so that was my temple. And it's very interesting because growing up, I've had a lot of energy, and I've seen the decline, especially with how I changed my life from being in the corporate world, very masculine. So I've been going and learning more about how to be more feminine. And for me, what was really hard was to be able to receive. And I didn't realize I wasn't doing that. It was so much easier for me to give in order to receive. And you're only capable of receiving love to the extent that you're able to give it as well. It was very challenging, to say the least. What happened to me at the temple at Edfu that was very interesting is that we were analyzing our bodies when we were there. Everything's being led by Matías once again, who is very gifted. He has been reincarnated in this world to really help bring up the energy up. As we're going through this beautiful transition from the Pisces age to the Aquarian age that we've entered. We're in the beginning of it. And I had something that had not finished working with my grandpa before coming into this trip, and it was halfway done and he just wasn't ready for it. And at Temple of Edfu, Temple of Life, that's represented by Horus, it was very clear that that was uplifted. And I felt it in my intestine areas, because you hold grief, you hold pain, you hold those dark emotions somewhere in your body. It's all living there. And a lot of it's subconscious too. And sometimes even without even knowing, you pass on contracts or expectations from your ancestors. So this is something I had with my grandpa. And I just felt it in my intestines, which is that digestion, right? Not even able to completely excrete and let out everything that built up. And I felt that, physically I felt in my body that I just let go, and it felt so much lighter. And it was an emotion that came through too. So I was very thankful for that. From the Temple of Edfu, then we're in Luxor area. We did not do anything at the Luxor temple, but we did do it on Karnak. Karnak is one of the largest temples in the whole world that are ancient, and it represents our whole body, and it's governed by Sekhmet. Sekhmet is the lioness goddess. And if you visit Karnak, make sure you ask the guards to take you to go see Sekhmet. You only pay them a few Egyptian pounds, and she's kept in the dark. She's kept in the dark. She's the protector of the darkness. And it's unbelievable, because this statue, this stone statue, has been praised for so many thousands of years. You can feel and you can palpitate the energy. So Karnak Temple was also very special, because a lot of people were feeling physical pain, literally physical pain. For me, it was different. Right before going into the temple, something came up, was structure for me, that created a lot of anxiety and control, just responding back as quick as possible, which is a pattern of mine, which I know I could solve no problem afterwards, but this anxiety comes out, and is this part of this control that I have that I want to do. And what it showed me is that how much damage it does to my body when I'm in that vicious cycle. So it was beautiful that came up for me. The way I responded, I got to see it, that I still hold that pattern. And it was interesting, because after even the ceremony ended, after a few hours, I had completely forgotten about it, because I worked it out, and I'm like, okay, no, but now you need to take care of it as well. So that was very beautiful. From Karnak Temple, then we go north, but we go inland for about 2 to 3 hours to the Temple of Dendera, which is governed by Hathor. Hathor means the Temple of Light, and it's also the Temple of Love. And everything that came through that day for everyone, it was a lot of love, but also understanding love as divine union, and also feeling comfortable with our sexuality and how repressed we have been, and how much shame we have to be able to express who we are as natural beings. We're sexual beings, because having an orgasm is when you literally just let go of your mind. You can't have an orgasm and you're thinking about the bills. If you're mad at your partner, that's why they say, if you're mad at someone, just get it on, because you just let go. So if you do this, but in a divine union, doing very consciously, you can open gates and go to other realms that are just allows you to expand and evolve, which is what we're here for. There's so much more that we could live. I'm just so very thankful for all the emotions that I feel, and to open up to discover even more, because that's what we're here for. We're here as humans. Once we go back to our light form, we don't get to have these emotions whether you like them or not. You're not going to have a very high emotion unless you really go into your darkness and really find out, what's holding you back. So it's a lot about love, not being so serious, really finding humor in everything, but doing everything, and having your sexuality, but with sacredness, and knowing how much it heals. And for men, also honoring the womb. Whether you're a man or not, that space lives within you. If you think about the male reproductive part, it's the woman's reproductive part, just inside out. That's why I say everyone comes from a woman. All cells, the original cells were all female cells. Not only that, but in other past lives, you'll probably be a woman more than likely. And we live on forever. It's just going back and bringing back to life the goddesses that were inside, the goddesses. So it was just tremendous at that temple. And then we went to Osiris temple, and Osiris temple, unlike any of the other temples that I have mentioned before, actually goes back to Atlantean times. You can see the difference in the temple because there are no hieroglyphics. And also it's very similar to the temples that you'll find in the Sacred Valley in Peru. And also it brings you back to the arches that are similar to Stonehenge, anything along the United Kingdom, all these stone circles that you have with the arches. So you can feel the difference, you can see it, you can sense it. And I've been to 2 ceremonies there already, and in Atlantean times, that temple was used for the woman, the priestesses, to go give birth. So last time I was there in March, I was with my mom. Many people gave birth, including my mom, because she had a very tragic, very hard delivery with my sister. That's another story. But this time, since what we're doing, we're activating these beautiful crystals that are going to be placed to activate, the new dimension that's coming in, the new energy that's coming in. We did a complete different structure of alignment instruction where we're literally weaving the DNA, and everyone could feel the angels. The way that everyone was singing, everyone was just with the vibe. Everyone was channeling one way or another, because you just go into the symphony and the melody of the room. And to me, I remembered that I used to heal with my voice, and my voice has been activating in different ways for over 1.5 to 2 years now, and it's not something that I can just turn on if I want to. It comes in when it needs to. So when I do a lot of healings, I do a lot of healings one-on-one, it activates, and sometimes it heals, or sometimes I actually do activations for people, and it's happened a couple of times now. So it's something that I'm also remembering and tuning into my own. And I just want to bring up something that's very important, is that trust your own instincts. People were like, oh, you can go here and learn it from this person. This one's like, and I can just feel it in my body because I'm just so anchored out. I'm like, that's not my path. I already know how to do this innately, so I'm going to continue with that. Let me just take a little break here. Having some rose tea. Just wanted to bring in some high frequency for you guys. After Osiris temple, which for me was really, really, really high, I just came out vibing so high. We flew into Cairo, and we continued our ceremony in Saqqara. Saqqara is the step pyramid that it's only about 30 to 45 minutes from the Giza Plateau. And it's an actually much younger pyramid compared to the pyramids that you see back here. This one's date back to Atlantean time, 13,000 years ago. And not too many people have had the privilege to enter the Saqqara temple. It has recently been discovered, so we went in as a group. It's only the fourth time a large group has entered, and actually Matías has led all four of those groups where they've actually gotten that permission. You go underneath the Saqqara temple, and there is this gigantic 2.5 meters, maybe 3 meters by 7 meters, gigantic stone. It's almost close to a cube, but it's more rectangular. So you go all the way down at least 70 meters, and all of a sudden you go in, and it's a big, just open chamber that's 70 meters high. And when people discover this temple, the archaeologists, there's so many different paths and so many different little tunnels that the person actually got stuck there for a day and a half trying to figure its way out. So we had to be very careful on the turns that we made. And what we were doing there is we were activating and connecting with the what's called the Metatron, with the Proticta, also known as the Andinian cross, and it's this ancient knowledge or that has been known for many years, and that's what we found it in different cultures being represented with various different signs. And for me, personally, it got a little dark for me because it started showing me everything that I still needed to work, and little things happened before, but at the same time it's how I'm standing up for myself, for my voice, for what I believe in, giving myself my own space, as opposed to just doing things for people because I don't want to feel bad or not even thinking about it, and just moving out of the way instead of thinking about myself. So it's very beautiful. Many interesting things happened as we were coming out, especially because it was during sunset, and all of a sudden it felt like we're already vibrating so high coming out of there, and it felt like we were walking on the moon, like we were out in space, because we're out in the middle of the desert, and you have this beautiful pastel hues. And Matías, who is our leader, he was dancing, doing all this beautiful movements, speaking to the sky, and all of a sudden, I'm gonna put up the video, this light comes up for at least maybe 3 seconds. It just forms and it disappears. It was just unbelievable, incredible. So that's what we did on that temple, and all of this purpose was to end at the Sphinx and at the Great Pyramid on the 10th, on Thursday, which was the Great Eclipse, because that is the eclipse when the sun is completely being blocked by the moon, because that is when we see our complete darkness. That is when we really face our shadows. So for me personally, last time I came here, it was more of a reborn experience. A lot of people were going through a lot of pain, and I was like, oh, just hearing angels was beautiful. And this time, after the Osirian temple, after I got to Cairo, it started showing me a lot of my limitations that I had, which made sense because, like I said, in the temple of Kom Ombo, the temple of darkness, I wasn't able to completely fall into the void, completely fall into the black hole, because there was something that was holding me back. So it showed me what it was, which I found so beautiful, so grateful, although it felt very uncomfortable. A lot of my abandonment issues came up, feeling rejected, and you know how I make up things in my head. We all do it in some level, which, you know, sometimes you think, oh, I've already worked through that, but that's when you realize there's always more and more that is happening. And the Sphinx is always, she's the lioness, she's mother. The Sphinx is both aspects. The exterior is the lion, the masculine aspect, the protector, because she's the guardian of the pyramids, and the lioness inside is the heart of the lion, the heart of the mother. So she has both aspects in her. And for me, I received some beautiful messages actually at the same time. The projects that I have going on, working with children. So it's been very beautiful. And then we started there actually at 3 a.m. From 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. we were at the Great Sphinx, and then we went inside the Great Pyramid from 5 to 7 a.m. And just the beautiful sounds that everyone was making and how we were singing was just that vibration alone. It allows you to just dispel and bring up everything that it is that you need to work on. And a lot of great beings came in, a lot of beautiful energy, a lot of angels. It was just unbelievable. But remember, it's all about neutrality. So yes, you're bringing in the darkness as well. But everyone that's working towards the light, towards neutrality, that is the key. When you're working with someone that vibes really high, that's what you want. So just be very careful on how you're resounding, because you're going to attract wherever your energy is. That's just a lot. So whatever is happening around you, it's like, hey, why did I create this? Why is this happening? Why am I manifesting this? Because you are the creator. So we just ended up with the Great Pyramid. It was the point where Matías said, he's like, now deliver all of your darkness, all of your pain, just let it go. And I just felt everything went. And after that, it continued. We went to Abu Ghraib, which is an exterior temple in the middle of the desert, in the middle of nowhere. So we all went prepared, dressed in white, pretty drenched, and I just felt so grateful for Matías and the work that he does, because he has been doing so much work and carrying in so much energy, so many messages for us to receive, and he's formulating everything, bringing in the messages from high up. So once again, great reminders that we are here to design our lives. We can only be helped to the extent of our thoughts and our beliefs. That is the tools that we give the universe and the higher beings to help us. So be very, very, very careful about your thoughts and your emotions, because that is what is being used to manifest. And it's okay, just observe. Remember, we're eternal, we're here to learn, but catch yourself. A lot of people use spirituality as a way to actually run away from their feelings, or use positivity as a way to not deal with what the issue is. And I'm seeing this more and more and more. And so just be very aware. Am I really facing my issues, or I'm just trying to stay high that I'm not facing whatever is making me want to just stay up high? I think we've all been there one way or another. We just want to say the Honokupono I'm grateful, I'm happy, right? But then you're still back with that same feeling within a day or a day later, and just continue doing that. It's like you need to go to the root. You need to find out what is happening, what is causing it, what trauma did you have when you were a little kid, inner child. There's so many different types of therapies too. I've been doing more and more inner child healing as a way to complement with the energetic clearing that I do with my patients, and it's been profound. It's been a big difference, and it's a beautiful learning experience to see how kids react. Maybe we all had a parent that yelled at us, and some of us, the way we reacted to it, maybe some of us started being really shy. Maybe some of us felt very, very angry, so that's what they're vibrating. Or some of us felt betrayed, by our loved ones. So then you're carrying on that vibration that still lives within you. Time is parallel. Once you know how to work with time, you have it all, basically. So time's parallel, it's living within you. So the inner child is the subconscious. I'm more than happy if you have any questions or to work with you. Freeing up now that I'm on the retreat, so I'm going back to letting people know that I'm going to be free again. And now we've been doing a lot of integration for the last couple days. It's good that I've been in Egypt, so I just stayed at the hotel at the beautiful historic Mena house here in the Giza Plateau, and integrating, because during the closure of the ceremony after the Great Pyramid, Matías that, many of us have been here and exactly in this temple, and we promised that we would come back to reconnect the network because the energy turned very negative 11,000 years ago. So the network had to be distorted. It was a must in order for Earth to survive. So it can take its natural cycle. And then we promised to come back, and that's what we did in this trip. We reconnected the network. And people are doing this in various different ways. This is just my mission, what I'm a part of. And it became so very clear to me that I was one of those people that it really, really got to me. But at the same time that I got that confirmation that obviously I was here, and I this is why I've been coming here like crazy, 3 times within less than 6 months. I also got the message saying, you've finished your cycle, you're done, you don't come back here. So it was hard because there's also the eclipse, and then different things started playing into my head. So by tonight, I'm going to be doing my pilgrimage, going up to Mount Sinai, the same mountain where Moses received the 10 Commandments. So it's time to be alone, to integrate. So that's where I'm going to be next. I love you all. Thank you so much. Any questions, any topics you'd like me to talk about, I'm here for you. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. Light and love. Remember that all is always perfect. I love you so much, gods and goddesses. You are the creator. Love you. Bye.